Hey, hello, good afternoon, depending where you're located. For me, it's afternoon time. For you, morning, night, whenever you get to this live, after the fact, whatever. Appreciate you for tuning in. This is another Yap Break Radio. I meant to do one last night, actually, Sunday at 10 o'clock, but plans got switched around. Life has a way of just fucking with you. You're just switching all your plans up like that. That old saying, man plans, God laughs kind of thing. Not to get religious like that either, but I did mean and fully intend to do it last night. But yeah, a bunch of stuff to. It's leading into the holidays. I'm here with the wife, so pretty much it's a matter of luck of the draw at some point as far as like getting what you intended to have done on a schedule, jot it down, put it on the fucking notes here on the phone, whatever, versus the actual execution of getting anything done as you intended to, as you planned to as well. So like me right now, like two birds, one stone. I'm just doing this while I'm multitasking as we speak. I work from home, so let's just leave it at that. And as I mentioned previously, it is in healthcare, so we're not gonna name specifics, we're not gonna go over that, but if ever the case were, in the comments at least, you got some questions about the health insurance industry, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to chime in. Again, don't ask obviously for where I work. That's none of your business. But questions in general, anything on your mind like that, or anything you might be curious about, again, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm pretty sure my email is linked here on the YouTube page in my bio/description, whatever. If not that, then at who this is one, the same tag here for YouTube, is applicable to all the social medias and etc. 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 Extra sex want to be bad around this time. Tell my wife somebody, please. Let her know I went just with her. No one else. I ain't trying to get caught up in cheating or none of that because cheating, as far as I wouldn't say been taught. I mean, my mother ideally wouldn't want me cheating, obviously, and I know better. I know that pain. I've been cheated on with an ex, and it sucks. And I wouldn't do it to my wife now, well, soon to be wife again, fiance, but I wouldn't dare do that to her as much as I wouldn't want to have it done to me either. So there's that to keep in mind. I try to be, I try my best to be a good guy, as they say. And part of that good guy not act, but life and or lifestyle choice is not cheating. More so to the fact that maybe that'll be its own episode, but just briefly, I don't buy into it or the fascination, fixation with wanting to do that as a benefit per se, as a perk. I mean, I'm sure there is in the moment of, busted nuts or letting off, pressure release and all that. But I don't really see the benefits to it as far as like the long term because, especially nowadays with cameras and monitoring things everywhere you look, everywhere you stand, or even breathe. They'll get you some way, somehow, it seems like almost. So it's almost like, how could you pull it off? You know? That would be my concern. That's me. I wouldn't say I'm paranoid, but I'm annoyed enough. Not full on para, just, get a little worried about things sometimes. That's all. That's just me, though. You can leave it in the comments, too, if you like. If you watch after the fact, if you're paranoid like that at the thought of wanting to or being tempted to enough to cheat, be unloyal to your spouse or whoever you're with like that. And no judgment here either. If you do, you don't, or you've done it and you're reformed, or you're caught in that in between gray zone of wanting to so bad, but you don't know if you really should. You're weighing out the options like that. Well, at least you're at the point you're weighing it out. You're kind of thinking it through instead of just full on execute with no thoughts as to the repercussions or what may or may not happen as a direct result, which, could be nothing, could be minute, could be like, okay, I get yelled at, I hate this relationship anyway. Maybe I'll just do it to purposely sabotage it, get caught. We're not married, no joint bank accounts or nothing, so we can make like a, as they say, like a clean break. Who knows? Who knows? But point being, I feel like I cheated some people out of what could have been discussed last night. As far as me not showing up on Sunday, as promised as I said I would. I emphasized I would, but again, plans change, things get in the way, so unfortunately I could not go live last night. So I would like to start with that apology. And I promise I'll never cheat again on you. If I say a date and time, I'll commit to that day and time, especially considering that, maybe you're like me at least. Maybe you're like me, maybe you're not. And if you're not, probably better for you. You got more people directly involved as far as your family, close loved ones are concerned. You've got more people to spend the holidays with, which is great if you do, and commendable if you do. That means your parents, got busy, obviously, and had more than just you, sister, brother, brother, sisters, whatever, in fact. Or you're one of those that got like the big families outside of you. You got tons of cousins and uncles, whatever the fuck. I don't. I got me and my fiance. And if you like to count it just because it's a living being, whatnot, our pet fish. There's that to consider. So it's a very small knit group of just us here at home for the holidays. And primarily Christmas, of course, New Year's, all that shit. So we'll be spending it together, obviously. She's not going nowhere. I'm staying put pretty much. So there's really nothing much beyond that. Let me just type this up real quick. TC. Grievances response. Sorry, just multitasking here as I speak. And today's the 22nd, right? Yeah, today's the 22nd, Monday. What was I saying? What was I getting to? Got distracted, sorry. So, yeah, just a really quick update on that end. Apologies again if you were coming in with the intent of hearing me talk last night, Sunday, and I wasn't here. Just got in the way. She needs stuff. We need to get stuff done, in preparation for Christmas and all that shit. I mean, at least I did the smart thing. I got the gift out the way, so there's no trouble there. But that comes with its little headaches. Of course, last minute things need to be done. She don't tell me until like she's one of those. She don't tell me until like probably the day of, or sometimes she does me the favor of the night before something needs to get done. Or she forgot to remind me, and I tell her, remind me. She forgot to remind herself to remind me. That kind of whole ordeal right there. So, that happens. What are you gonna do? No one's perfect. It is what it is, basically. So yeah, I may have to change the title of this thing because I don't know if I'll have enough time right now to even do that. Let me see. Can I do that now? No, I don't think so. Oh, let me. Nice. Oh, I can do green screen. Ah, there we go. Interesting. I'm just trying things out here. I'm still fairly new to the YouTube vertical live thing, so I'm just figuring things out as I go. Forgive me for that. On the spot. Working out the kinks and the texts of this stuff. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well, goddamn, you don't learn things half the time until you're actually in the midst of doing them, huh? I guess that's how it works. Okay. Okay, so now we know. Oh, nice, nice, nice. So I can make a nice little template of anything for next time. When I go live, hopefully during the week, if anything. I was gonna say here, goddamn, I'm a little all over the place. Forgive me. So it's not a matter of I don't know what I want to say or nothing to say. It's just like I'm trying to figure out to do this as well. Stand. Today's the 22nd as well. 20, yeah, today's the 22nd, as we mentioned already. Boo, 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 boo. What is this? Oh, my neck, Today, just one of those days I wake up with the neck all crunchy and crackling. Just wish I had like a replacement head to just like pop this off and put this one on for today at least. Let the other one kind of like recoup itself. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever. It's alright. It happens though. Oh, what the fuck? QA? Nah. There ain't no time today for a QA sticker. Let's see. What was I gonna type? Oh yeah, right. Resolution letter sent via. Again, don't mind me. I'm just kind of multitasking as I should during a lunch break. Just getting stuff done so we can spend our holidays at least worry-free on the work end of things. That's all it is. Oops. Yeah. Resolution, okay. We got this one, the add and edit, close. Go over here for that. Okay, resolution summary. Yeah. What I'm also slowly realizing is that this is not the most flattering angle for yours truly. I did also have a pretty bad weekend diet-wise. So there's that to consider and that to keep in mind as a sore reminder to take it easy. I'm still, oh fuck, that little typo there, shit. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Fuck. I didn't even notice that typo. I didn't catch it in time. Word, Microsoft Word be fucking me up sometimes. As far as just like typos that it could catch, and I should be, more attentive to it, honestly, myself. That's where the problem starts. But I know I just didn't catch it in time. Partially on me, but also on Microsoft. The fact that you got to pay for Microsoft to even use it. The licensing thing they do, where you gotta you have to have it. You have to pay the yearly thing to even have it be a thing. That just sucks, Oh, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Suite, Office, etc. Everything going on. It's just the whole that and Adobe. Adobe you got to pay for monthly, or I think they do the yearly thing where they slightly, minimally discount you, like them doing you a huge favor doing so. Meanwhile, the services ain't even that great. The products ain't even that great. At Sab_YT6741. Hey, bro, how are you? Hello to you. How are you? What's going on? What's happening? Oh, yeah, right. So, I just want to finishing this up right here. Forgive me, I'm multitasking right now. I'm trying to be a responsible adult. More than two things at once. We got all types of plates spinning, as they say. I think all of us in our own way, shape, and form. So, what makes me so special with that? Nothing. You got your shit to handle multiples at a time. I do too. That's just what it is, baby. All right, 1 second here. Let me see. Gotta refresh this thing. Yeah, there we go. That goes there. This goes over here almost. This is all set and done. Yep. Okay, good. Dunzo finito with that one almost in the last step right now. Then we could yap, as is the point of Yap Break Radio. So, good. Hope you have an amazing day and happy holidays. You too. I appreciate that. I hope everyone out there, not just Sab_YT6741. I got that in one shot. Well, good on me. I hope you're having a good day as well, a good start to it. If it's early or if it's late, I hope your day went well. I don't know where you are, geographically speaking. Let me not assume. It's the afternoon time for me. I hope it's going well. I hope you're doing good. Everybody included out there, live, watching it back after the fact, it's all good. I don't discriminate as far as when you watch, so long as you watch. Selfish, I know, but it is what it is, though. But yeah, happy holidays to you too, whatever you celebrate. Let me not assume that either, because happy holidays is what's safer nowadays to use anyway, right? Might as well. It hurts nobody. No harm done when you do it that way, right? It's all good. Fine by me. When did I? Okay, to 2:35 p.m. And now we add this part in here. Sorry, just finalizing one last thing here while I'm on here during my lunch break. And yes, okay, good. All said and done. The absolute last final thing we gotta add on here is about to be done right now. Yeah, that was the one right there. Oh, forgot this little thing. Hello to Jordan Towers, 2225 or 2225 or 2225. I don't know what you prefer, but just let me know. It's all good. Hello and hi to you. And yeah. What was I gonna say? Okay, I did that, right? I did that. And now we're doing this one last thingy here, and out of here. Okay, good. Nice. Light load for tomorrow. That's a good thing. It's a good thing to have a light load for tomorrow, the following workday, of course. What was I saying? Oh yeah, get rid of this one here too. Cool. So yeah, again, apologies for last night, Sunday. I wasn't on as promised. I did already say that, but still, just want to reemphasize that I will stick to a day and time as best as I can, especially when I say I'm going to be there at a certain time. I know no one's going to put me in jail for it either, but again, things come up, things happen. Nothing crazy, just the the wife needs something done. It's always last minute, day of if I'm lucky, night before if I'm really lucky. So had to handle her business, had to help her out with stuff. So you're not to the point at hand. So if you're local here in New York and or you're a fan of hip hop, better yet said, you would be familiar with Ebro, what's his last name? Darden? Something like that. As well as Peter Rosenberg, as well as Laura Stiles, chef's kiss to her, beautiful woman, great voice for radio too. Very soothing, feminine voice, but not to make it about her, making it about the show itself. They recently got canceled from Hot 97. They brought in apparently three, to me at least, nobodies from Atlanta to do the morning show now, which is, by the way, the morning show that I don't know if I ever listened to a full episode of Ebro, Rosenberg, and Laura. Nothing against them, just that's the thing with radio. I'm old enough to remember radio recording from the radio, like grabbing a cassette, putting it into the stereo, and recording the song you wanted to hear that much from the radio, where you had to like recognize immediately the first 2-3 seconds of it to immediately spring into action, have the tape cassette prepped in the stereo, press record to catch most of the song, and hopefully they're not playing half the song or they don't have a commercial immediately playing after the song kind of thing. Struggles are back when. So believe me, it's a convenience nowadays, and I appreciate it as old as I am that, there's Spotify, there's YouTube, there's music and content on demand for as long as you want to indulge and whatever's up your alley, your preference, better yet said. So to me, it just seemed a little crazy that of all people, Ebro, who I had to look up and confirm is 10 years older than me, 50, of all people, having worked in radio, as he says, since like the age of 15, which good on him, lucky for him to do so, and especially in different markets, for him to post a clip saying, oh, well, you do know that now we're off radio, our show's gone, it's been axed from Hot 97. I feel bad for those people that used to listen to us during the morning drive in the morning because those people, implying they're old and they don't know how a phone works, that they could download a radio app if they really, I don't even know who's obsessed like that with the radio, let alone Sirius satellite radio, anything like that. Ancient tech at this point could download an app to listen to the radio on their phone on the way to work via the train, the bus. If they're driving in, yeah, the car has by default a radio, right? But then he's saying those people in that age bracket, which could vary from like the tender age of 20 to like 60, 70, still driving to work every day and commuting like that, because they're not going to be on the radio anymore in the morning, those same people don't know how to work social media or have no idea, as implied, that YouTube been existing for like almost 20 years now, or just shy of, I think. Spotify's a thing, Apple Music's a thing. Even if you're old and or your eyesight's that bad, and you got to do the thing where they got the extra large font on the phone just to read a text or go through apps or emails, those things can afford you the benefit of the doubt of having YouTube if all else fails. To watch shows, to catch up with songs, to watch music videos, to indulge in all types of content. But no, according to Ebro, because he got fired from a radio gig, and I'm assuming a still well-paying gig because of his name associated with, the culture and having been around for so long and being a program director, probably resents the fact that that easy paycheck isn't flowing in anymore with a job you can pretty much punch in, punch out of now on a daily basis. Now, is radio the easiest thing to do ever? No, of course not. Preferably, you need to have a voice. You need to also be a yapper. You need to be able to fucking blab and not necessarily have the gift of gab, which is like an overused term. And I hate when people say that or self-describe themselves as, I got the gift of gab. No, it means you can't shut the fuck up. And people being polite enough, like, oh, you're a gabber, aren't you? You love the yap, don't you? Radio ain't easy, but it ain't hard either. There's plenty of people that made careers out of it by just being consistent, being there for so long, having a steady gig, etc., etc. I think he's more focused on or harping on the fact that he got axed, but he also wants to play it up that the people listening to him in the morning only have 15, 20 minutes on their drive to work, which is assuming a lot out of people, especially in New York, because you're sitting in traffic a good portion of your morning if you're lucky. 15, 20 minutes to get to work driving means, it'd be like an hour and such, train, busing it, whatever otherwise, right? Sometimes people are driving in from other counties. Plenty of people I used to work with while I was still in office were driving from Connecticut to make it to New York to Queens. We're talking about at least an hour and a half. So then you're just assuming that everybody is taking their godforsaken, golden, sacred, heavily protected, guarded 20 minutes of driving into wherever the fuck they're going in the morning to only listen to Ebro in the morning. And now that he's not on the air no more with Rosenberg or with Laura Stiles, those 20 minutes are just godforsaken now. That's 20 peoples of fucking rot that's gonna happen to these people in the morning because they don't have Ebro exclusively. If anyone was that desperate radio wise, they still got the what do you call it, the Breakfast Club on Power 105.1. Point being, there's alternatives, even amongst the radio dial. Elvis Duran, who I'd never been a fan of like that, and I don't find to be funny. I used to be forced to listen to Elvis Duran in the morning when I used to work the job prior to where I'm at right now years ago. And even then, it was like a lot of, I wouldn't say forced laughter from my boss back then, but like he found it funny, I didn't. And I didn't make it painfully obvious. I didn't find it funny, but it just wasn't my fucking, flavor of the month, basically, right? So now, with the radio still as a dying form of entertainment, there's still options on that whole radio dial. Turn it this way, turn it that way. There's other stations, there's fucking people that still play music in the morning. Everybody's got a morning show. And even funnier, they don't even have local morning shows like that no more because they'll take one big one from whatever market and just have him or her spread out all across the board. That's it. That's really all that needs to be done as far as covering your bases. And why not? Take one market big enough, name big enough, take it to all the big cities, and that's it. You covered all the major markets at the expense in comparison to getting one big name, build them up for each city, and hope and pray they can keep people coming in or tuning in like that. Kitty Girl 19, hi, and hello back. Hello to you. You said it twice, you emphasized it, and you made sure I said, I know that you said hi. So, hello to you, Kitty Girl with a U, 19. So, it is insulting to me because I'm plenty old enough, again, as I mentioned, to remember the days where you had to run to the radio, hope a cassette was in with enough space on it to record at least a song. Or I used to love, rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop. He was the guy for a while on after the morning show that would be nestled in between the midday mix, and he'd be the one that entertained me the most. He'd be the one I laugh with the most. I look forward to Fat Man Scoop more than I did the morning show. I forget what the morning show was at that time, to be honest. I was like, there's so many other things, like mentally and emotionally and all that shit. So, like, not to make excuses like behavioral health wise, but it's just more like I had a lot going on in my head at that time. I think I don't even remember, honestly. It's been that long. And again, rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop. But I do feel a certain way because it's like, well, I'm younger than Ebro. I still remember radio like that. I wanted to be in radio growing up, and my associate's degree I got for liberal arts, media studies, was so I can transfer to a four-year school and go into radio. Again, as they say, life gets in the way. Unfortunately, that's what happened with me. Had to take care of my mother health-wise. She got sick for a while. So that kind of just X'd out my plans of going to a four-year school and pursuing that any further, which I know I could have done well in because I had already done an internship, a couple of internships, one with the college I was at, and then a part-time internship with Howard Stern back in 2004. So as far as history and radio, I greatly appreciate radio. It was there, for me every morning through middle school and high school via Howard Stern in the morning for the morning show, to the point where I got to intern with him. And I was there, for a point of reference, I was there while he was still on K-Rock FM radio. And I was there that morning when he announced that he was going to go over to Sirius Satellite Radio back in 2004, October. So like a whole year and some odd change before he moved over to Sirius, a whole new platform, I was there when he made that announcement. I still remember being there in the back office as an intern would, taking the calls from the callers, trying to screen the calls and make sure who's good enough to be on air and such. And the phone lines blowing up for like the next 3 hours of people, a collective, not just like a handful, maybe a nutshell, a collective, a gathering of people ready to make the move over to a whole new platform at the time. Well, okay, not entirely new, it was around, but it was like already, it's like struggling to the point where Sirius had to combine with XM and they became the one thing they are now. Howard Stern's been helping to keep the lights on. Howard Stern just renewed 3 more years on Sirius Satellite Radio, which I would think, at least at the time, satellite radio, when it became a thing, would have been the thing to go to. But then, of course, it came at the cost of money being involved. To listen to, I understand some people have a short commute to work to drive to in the morning, so they can't really get too invested in like a full album worth of music or really get far along into a podcast like that. That exists. That's the thing. I totally get it. But yeah, radio does have some sort of space to exist, but then also I understand totally if nowadays people would rather, get a chapter in on an audio book. You know, maybe replay a part of a podcast they really enjoyed or they missed out on, didn't get to really listen to like that. Replay their favorite songs to like kind of amp them up for a Monday or a Friday before they go into work and park that shit and like park their ass into the seat in the office or wherever they got to work at. Point is, there's so many alternatives that to dismiss someone because of their age or Ebro, I think for the sake of just baiting and trying to get, clicks and likes and reactions, as he does well as a rage baiter, probably posted that, probably said that, so it can get clipped out of context for the sake of trying to prove a point, which the point allegedly ain't there at all. Because Radio's old. Radio's old-fashioned. I remember radio fondly. I wanted to be in radio, like I said. But even I know now, and I knew from a long time ago already, radio wasn't it anymore. It made no sense. Unless you're a big name, already established with like years, decades in the game, and you're at least recognizable in the market. Then okay, you probably got it, to your favor as far as radio and continuing to do it till you drop dead. I mean, again, Howard Stern just renewed for 3 more years on Sirius Satellite Radio, which, to my understanding, they're barely keeping the lights on, so they have to have a novelty act like Howard around to keep at least his community, his diehards, which I stopped being a fan like years ago. I used to be a fan enough where I'd wait most of the day to go on to this specific site. I can't even, it's not like I don't want to tell you, but I can't even remember the site I used to go through. I think a forum of sorts for Howard Stern fans. Wait a majority of the day to download that day's episode to either catch up with it that night or most likely the following morning. So I'd be a day late. That's just what it was. I didn't feel like paying for satellite radio because I had no use for it. What was I going to get out of it? One whole new contraption, a whole new subscription service, monthly fee, just to listen to one thing for maybe like the some odd hours in the morning each day, and then get what from it? I know there's a whole bunch of music stations. There was like, rap with the curses on the radio. Mind blowing at the time, but nowadays it's like, why would I even bother? Why would that be fascinating to me? If anything, rapping without the cursing in it over the radio or anywhere now broadcast would be the fucking amazing, mind-blowing part of it too. Because what do the kids listen to today with the rap? And not even be old man like that, but you got the women talking probably about the pussy and how far it spreads and how gushy and wet, and just by the mere thought of the guy they like, it got in the middle of like what 2-3 minutes at most for a song ain't even 3 minutes. They're tapping out like 2 minutes, a minute and a half sometimes, just to get those repeats and spins and everything. I mean, it sucks to be a musician. It sucks to be in radio. There's no money in it, basically. Well, besides the money, there's no point of it now. It's a dying technology. So for Ebro to say that those that listen in the morning to the radio on their way to work as part of the morning drive aren't the same people that go on social media, that know how to use a phone, a portable computer, as is our phone practically nowadays, an all-in-one device in the palm of our hands, don't know how to use that thing to check out anything else that exists anywhere else imaginable that ain't the fucking radio dial in the car. Because where else does radio exist right now but the vehicle? And even then, do you use the radio in your vehicle? I'm sure if you work in radio, yeah, you might throw on the radio just because. Or I wouldn't be surprised if there's people young enough that get their car, or a generation that exists now that get their car and don't even know they have a fucking radio. Because they have the touch screens, they have the fucking aux cord, if that's still a thing, or they got the thing that just syncs the phone to the fucking car, and they know already their Spotify playlist is up there, their Apple Music is up there, whatever. Or those that I don't understand and don't condone, but I've done it a couple of times when I driven, YouTube while fucking driving. So, no, I've heard this fucking people actively watching TikTok, scrolling through TikTok while they're driving, which is crazy enough. I mean, that's probably the crowd that has the AirPods on while they're driving. Or like the full on, like not the Beat headphones, the Apple Pro Max, whatever they're called, the big ass Apple headphones, the fancy ones that are like $400. They ain't that really good anyway. They look good, but I've tried them out. They don't sound great, to me at least. So I'll stick to my fucking Sonys that I got. Like, I forgot, what are the XM4s, I think? I think they used to be like $300-400 something, but I got them, I think it was Black Friday. I got them for like $150. Pretty good deal. But point being, how do you associate those that don't necessarily use the new tech like that? No, sorry, I mean to say, how can you associate an older crowd that might, drive into work still, as a lot of people do, drive, make the commute into work every day, It might have tuned into you think already, okay, well, if Ebro, Rosenberg, Laura Stiles ain't doing the morning show anymore, it's not so much I'm not going to listen to Hot 97 anymore because of that, but it's more like I don't know what else to listen to now that they're gone. There's absolutely nothing else to listen to. Like, again, the Breakfast Clubs don't exist if you're really on your radio kick like that, or you're completely unaware. You have no idea that your phone, most likely, that you're using to listen to Ebro like that in the morning when he was on the radio, has all these other things available to it. YouTube, streaming app of choice, music streaming exclusive of choice, podcasts, audiobooks, all this shit of choice to spend your time with instead of just, oh my goodness, the radio show's done. I'm out. Later.